Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Hey, hey, fam. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, the Forge by Fire, Fueled by Faith channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. That is so encouraging. This is me really getting out of my comfort zone. As I stated in episode one, um, I'm not this type of person. Let me not say that. Let me not say this. Let me rewind. Mm. I've never been the one to step out in front of a camera. I even have a hard time doing that, even on social media. So going live has never been my thought. Well, it's I do it, but it's like I don't like doing it. But I know I have something for the world, for my single mothers. I have something for you. And I know it is great. It is good food. It's good advice. It's good wisdom. It's good nuggets. It's good gems. Why? Because I am that single mother who has been forged by fire and fueled by faith. And so, what I want to talk to you about is like this go round. I have been dealing, well, not dealing, but when I moved here, before I moved here, the Lord had called me in 2017 and he told me Texas. Now, meanwhile, I was looking to move to the up east, like closer where it gets cold. I'm not a heat person. I don't like the sweat. I don't like the heat. Now, I was born in the summer, but I don't like the heat. And so I love the snow. So I wanted to kind of like move in that kind of area, that location up, probably like from Virginia to Delaware, Maryland, Washington, to them places like that. But instead, I ended up going to Raleigh. And so being in Raleigh, I know I heard the Lord tell me again he mentioned Texas. And when he said it the second time, in 2020, he said it the second time, and I said, okay. Now, I had a great job. I mean, my job was really good to me. That's another testimony in itself. And the Lord knew what was happening. Of course, He knew. He wrote my story. He knew me. He predestined me. So He knew everything. So the job that I had, I never even filled out an application. Just HR looked me up on LinkedIn and they asked me, "Hey, um, your your skills and your resume looks like it fits what we're looking for," because I worked in a lab. And I said, okay. They sent me an email through LinkedIn. They was like, "We want to, send you an interview." And I talked to one of my friends at the time that I was working with at a hospital. And I was like, "But this might be a scam." He said, "Well, answer it." He said, "What do you got to lose?" He said, "Just go to it." He said, "If you don't get the job, you still have a job. If you get the job and it's better, there you have it." And I said, that makes so much sense. And so I did. I had 4 interviews, 2 phone, and then I went to 2 on site. And I got the position. And I think I already knew I had it. Like, that confidence was there. I knew I had it. And so that was the beginning of that 2017. And when I tell you that same job, I ranked up and I moved up several times. And then COVID hit. And so when COVID hit, of course, we couldn't shut down. So we had to modify everybody there. And by that time, they was saying the schools was resuming, but it had to be, at home. And I let my supervisor know. I always kept them afloat and I let them know. And I said, "Hey, I have to be home. What are we going to do?" Because my position required me to stay on site. However, the things that was needed on the back end could be done at home. And so they made a position for me. Ain't God is good. They made a position for me. They created a position. I was able, once they saw the need of me doing what I needed to do from home for them, it was a position created. And so from that, I was able to even stay home with my baby boy who was then in the third or fourth grade. I think he was in the fourth grade. He was in the fourth grade. And so by that time, we here. We are moving. You know, got the word. I let them know, hey, I believe the Lord is calling me. I didn't tell them like this, but I have to go to Texas, and I need to go. And I gathered my children because he told me in 2000, he said, hey, Texas. And I knew it was him because I heard that same voice in 2020, 2017. I'm sorry. I heard that same voice in 2017. So I knew it was him. And I gathered my children. I said, hey, I got to go. I am going to Texas. I said, the Lord is calling me to Texas. It was a lot of things going on. When I say a lot of things, we got evicted, not because of payment, but because of altercation that the lease and management. I'm a transparent person. And so we had to move into a house. And I was like, Lord, what in the world? Like now what? Because this money, I planned on moving. It as soon as my lease was up, I was heading out. And that didn't happen. It happened, but I had to use what I had to move into a house. And so when we moved into a house, I still had to stay on task. I still had to keep the same date. But here's the thing, because I was like, okay, Lord, how are we going to do this? Well, I don't have a lot of things. I don't even know where to go in Texas. I don't know Texas. First of all, what am I doing? What were we doing? What are we doing? And so I called one of my friends who was a member of a previous ministry. And so I asked her because she was in Dallas. And I said, hey, how is Dallas? And she said, well, it's nice. She said, but you know me, I like activities. And Dallas doesn't have is not a place where you have a lot of activities going. It's peaceful. They do have things going, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. She said, but Houston has a lot. And she said, because you have children, Houston might be a better fit. And so I was like, okay. I wasn't still like, okay, because I don't know. On the phone, talking to one of my sons, my middle son to be exact, and one of my friends. She called me because I had already said, you know, if my children don't come, at least I know somebody that is closer. They may not be in Texas, but they in a state over. And once she called me, I was like, oh my God. I told my son, I said, I gotta go. I said, oh my God, I'll call you back. I gotta go. I gotta go. And I answered, I was like, oh my God, hey, honey, I haven't talked to her in so long. And I can't even tell you when the last time I talked to her. It's been a long time. I want to say even a decade. And my number was the same. And so I asked her, I said, how far is Oklahoma from Texas? And she started laughing. She was like, I'm in Texas now. I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm in Houston. I said, what? She said, I've been here for a year. I said, what? So, you know, I was like, ooh, okay, Lord, I hear you. And she said, yeah. She said, why don't you come? She said, I'm looking, she said, I'm at my dad's, but I'm looking to move because I work in Richmond and, you know, I got to look for a place and um, I'll be looking around. So I was looking around and I got into Pearland and all of that stuff. And I was like, ugh, no. And so when I came, one of my other friends came with me. Thank God for her. I really appreciated her for that. She came with me and we went and, you know, looked at some apartments. And I was you know. So she said, well, I have um she said, I'm going to see one apartment now. She said, and I already have an appointment, but you can call them and see, or you can just walk in. And I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I walked in and I saw the same apartments that she was in, and we got into the apartment. That was in May of 2021. Come July, no, yeah, July, packed up a U-Haul, me, my two sons, and their two friends, drove all the way from North Carolina to Texas to drop me off. And I've been here ever since. And when I say I love it here, I love it here. And another thing is, when I tell you my fire was hot, because fear was kicking in. It was kicking in, and I'm going to tell you why it was kicking in. Because my comfort zone was no more comfort. No more familiarity, no more. I had to get a whole new um, zone. I had to look at things differently. And so once I did that, and then to leave my children, we always came together, always and laughed and things to that nature. We ain't trying to live together again, but it was that's it was them, and we always joke. My two sons, they always came, and we just have fun. And so to leave everybody behind, I had to. Either they came or they had to stay, or they stayed. Let me say it like that. But I had to go. I had no choice. I had no choice. And the thing is, someone said, how can you leave your children behind? I was getting attacked. I was getting attacked. But nevertheless, through all the uncertainties, through all the drama, through all of the fear of being here by myself, I still had my friend Stephanie. However, I needed my sons too. I needed my children, my daughters. I needed, especially my sons, because they were my protectors. But God had to let me know that He was my protector and I will be okay. And ever since, I've been here, I've been loving it, and it has been amazing. So I want you guys to be encouraged for whatever you're dealing with and you're scared. I want you to know, just have faith. Step out there. God has you, and He is going to provide the way for you. If He's telling you to go, trust and believe He has a plan for you. He has a plan for you. Don't let fear paralyze you. Do not let fear paralyze you. Step out on faith and let God be God. Okay? I want you guys to know that I love you so big. And go and check out my book. Go check out my book. It's on Amazon, and I will try to put the link in the caption or in the description. And thank you again for joining. Have a good night. Bye bye.